Okay, y'all. Good morning. How are y'all doing? Okay, we're here today to talk about what happens after you suffer from a stroke. You're going to go through, or at least I'm going to tell you my story. I went through three therapies. I had to take physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy. Well, speech therapy was very easy to me. I didn't suffer in that department as far as my stroke. Um, with my speech therapy, I think they gave me very word agreement. They gave me reading assignments. Um, let me see, sentence completion, recognition things, and cognitive thinking things. Work. I say work. Um, and the more I did therapy, I'm thinking it really every day. I did all three. I did all three every day, and as I progressed, the work got harder. But like I said, I didn't suffer in the speech therapy department at all. Now the when it came to the thinking and things like that, I can say what kind of suffered a little bit was I could be talking to you literally and forget mid sentence what we were talking about or what I forget my thought. So I would close my eyes and literally like play back in my mind really what were we just talking about. I'm just being serious. I had to go back in my mind real quick because and think about what we were just talking about to kind of get caught up to give you your response. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Now, my physical therapy that consisted of, like I said, I didn't know how to walk. I had to learn how to walk again. So they would have me up and down the hall. They had a strap around me from the trainer or from the physical therapist to me. Treat teaching me to walk one step in front of the other and things like that. And no, I couldn't get up without no one's ability at all. I couldn't. So I was happy to see that improve over time. And I still left the hospital in a wheel. Oh yeah, everybody's gonna leave the hospital in a wheelchair. But when I came home, of course, I was hand guided, up and around the house and things like that. And now on like and speech, physical, and what the other therapy I just say? Occupational therapy. Occupational therapy, it was challenging for me because it dealt with the finite skills, your everyday living, routines, or things that you do on a daily basis. Um, it had me thinking a lot and dealing with my fingers a lot, memorization and things like that. Now, I'm going to say I had a great therapist in that area. Um, he challenged me every day I went. I eventually got better. But the I'm gonna say once you're released from the hospital, the journey really really begins. Yes, and like I said, I once I got home, I went to an in bed facility for therapy. That was a requirement in order for me to be released from one to another. That was a requirement, and so once I came home, I had to continue my therapy. I had to continue all three at home, and I think I went for about almost a year. Almost a year I did until they felt that I was better enough. I'm not gonna say good enough because things still needed to be improved upon. It really did. Um, the journey and the struggle really begins once you get home. Like I said, my mom brought me back home to my you know, my birth town into the home I grew up in. And so I, man, it was a struggle. I couldn't be left alone. One, because of the seizure condition. It wasn't. That's something that came up on as a result of my stroke, and you know, I wasn't happy about that. But hey, I was hard headed, y'all. So that's. Just gonna go and say it. That's what I got dealt. That is what got dealt. So I had to deal with that reality. And not only that, y'all, it was an emotional journey for me because here I am at home. I've I've lost my independence. A lot of y'all don't know what it's like until you go through it. Yes, I lost my independence. I couldn't come and go as I pleased. I was being babysat like a baby. Somebody was literally watching over me. Because I couldn't be left at home by myself. Yes, I'm an adult. I'm 29 years old. So my grandmother watched me for about 10 hours during the first part of the day. My mom would come pick me up once she got off work, and then I went home. Only to be repeated over 5 days a week. And then, of course, on the weekends, hey, I'm at home with my family. So, yes, they watched over me. But it was stressful and emotional. It was, I mean, because like I said, I lost my independence. And not you don't know what it's gonna feel like until you actually just go get until you're in this situation, if you ever are. I mean, I feel like my identity was stripped from me, y'all, because I couldn't drive anymore because of the seizure condition and other things. Because, like I said, if you have a seizure, you can't drive for a year, and you really can't. You're not supposed to drive for a year. That's the law. But I remember my driver's license was expiring. That was the only form of ID I had that gave me a sense of freedom. I promise y'all, someone having to watch over you and take care of you like a baby, that is just no fun. And so I I eventually became depressed. I did. I eventually became depressed because I couldn't talk to my family about it. My family didn't understand what I was going through. Because, like I said, you don't know until you're there in that moment that, wow, this is what they experienced. Yes, that is what I experienced. I eventually slipped into a depression. My mom, my neurologist found me a therapist. Of course, he was 2 hours away. So we went and had an initial session with him, and I think I would go back once a month to see him. So family sacrificed time for me to take me there. My mom had to work, so my auntie, she sacrificed her time. She took off work to take me 2 hours away. And y'all, after this happened for about 6 months, I'm gonna tell you, we traveled 2 hours one way, had lunch, had my physical therapy session. It was supposed to be an hour. But when we get there, the therapist is nowhere. He's not even in sight. He's at another facility. So we would wait on him for 30 minutes. And y'all, I would be so happy to have done the assignment that he gave me, just to know that I did it and I could do it. I was so happy to sit down and discuss it with him. He gave me encouragement books to read and things like that. And I'm sitting here thinking we're going to sit up here and discuss it. When he got in, we didn't have time. So this went on for about 6 months. Like I said, my family having to sacrifice time. They took off work, and I had no income coming in. So it ain't like I could pay my mom or pay my auntie or anybody for taking me down there. And mind you, it's 2 hours back. So that's 4 hours, that my family was willing to sacrifice to take me to get to get the help that I needed. Like I say, after every time I went to therapy, I wasn't even there 30 minutes, and I'm like, wow, it's almost like you going to the doctor only to be told he's not here and you got to go back home. That's what I felt like. So I'm sitting at home and I'm watching religious shows and things like that, and I think that's when I discovered Joyce Myers. I'm gonna be honest. I was going to church. I had started back to going to church, going to church, and I was watching her. I started journaling, y'all. I started journaling, and plus, not only that, I was taking an antidepressant. The journaling did help. It did help because since I wasn't able to verbally tell my family how I felt, and they didn't ask me either, so I started journaling. I started putting my thoughts on paper, and that's what helped me. And I'm not going to say after riding that roller coaster of 6 months of going down that road and back and forth to see that doctor, supposed to be an hour-long session, only to be at least maybe about 30, I stopped it. I told him I didn't want to go back because I feel like it was a waste of time. If I couldn't sit there and tell you how I felt, or we didn't discuss the things that you gave me to go over, for progress, no, I stopped it. Like I said, I started journaling. So, yeah, after about a year or so, a year and a half, maybe to 2, I slipped out of my depression. I slipped out of it real quick. Like I said, I found God. I rejoined church and everything. I slipped out of that depression. I asked my neurologist to take me off the antidepressant after about maybe 4 years, really. And so he took me off. So there's no longer part of the medication that I take daily. No, I literally, I slipped out of that depression real quick, and I just started journaling, and that was the best thing for me mentally. That was the best thing for me. And it helps to have friends and other family come around and talk to you, but you're still somewhat reserved because you can't share, or put like this, I feel like I still couldn't share everything with my family as to what I went through while I was on the West Coast, about my relationship or nothing like that. So I had to, suffer in that department. And I'm gonna be honest, that person didn't bother contacting me to see how I was doing. You thought that since this person loved me, that he would send me my things, and no, I came back home with what my mom packed. That was just it. So that was another aspect. This person didn't even bother to call and check up on me. He did. He knew my mom's number because he called my mama the day I got sick. So yeah, he didn't forget it. He did call a couple of times, but that was it over the course of 3 years. But other than to see how I was doing and things like that, he didn't. But like I say, I slipped up out of the depression real quick, and to just have your independence taken, y'all, to feel like that, it ain't a good feeling to have to. I don't like to depend on nobody for nothing. I've always been a go-getter. I'm dead serious. I've always been a go-getter. I never been dependent on nobody. And that's how I felt, And I feel like I was a burden to my family, even though my mom brought me home. And like I said, that was wrong for me. She didn't struggle financially or nothing. She got everything, straight for me, in that sense and everything. She did. So that's where that led. And like I said, the last official seizure that I had, it corrected my gait. So I was thankful I wasn't thankful for that, but I was. And y'all, every time my seizure would happen the same way. It would start at my feet, go up through my head and out. It was like a strong electrical current. And thankful family, or was always around when it happened, because you do end up biting your tongue and you don't realize after the seizures happen and you come around. Maybe a day or so later, I realized, like, man, I bit my tongue and that crap hurt, and it takes a minute for that pain to go away. It does. You all, I just want to say that pay attention to your body. Just pay attention to your body. Nobody knows your body like you. Pay attention to your body, please. If you need to, start writing down how you're feeling this day. What really, and I'm going to be honest, if you're taking something new, write it down, save the bottle. Just start writing down, journaling what you had, how you feel. What did you take to kind of help the feeling, the pain or whatever, and that'll kind of help your doctor to see what may have gone wrong or what it could be or anything like that. But you all, please pay attention to your body, because like I say, at the age of 29, first in my mind, me working, and I'm working out, and I'm thinking I'm healthy. Yeah, I was healthy, but me not knowing those little signs, the constant headaches, the trembling, the pain and the throbbing in my hands and things like that. I pushed it to the side. I didn't seek medical help when I should have. It wasn't until after, sitting at home, like I said, I'm back home and I'm watching the news and things like that, that I see that something about a stroke, that if they could have caught it if only had I been proactive about my own health. So that's my lesson for you all today, is to just be aware of your body, be aware of what's going on with you. I'm so for real. A lot of things can be prevented if only we take that first step, and that's seeing after ourselves. Yes, we take care of everybody else, but we need to pay attention to ourselves as well. Okay, love you, and I'll see you in the next video.